Everyone knows the bottle, but do you know the story behind it? Welcome to Behind the Bottle by Celia Maestri, where the real stories of the tequila world are finally poured out. From bold beginnings to industry secrets, it's time for a deeper sip into the lives behind the spirits. Pour a glass, take a seat. The story's just getting good.
Welcome to Behind the Bottle, Tequila Tales by your mom, Celia Maestri. You are my first guest today, and from the whole podcast. I would like to introduce you as my son and my older son, Eduardo Morales. Eduardo, tell us a little bit about when we came to the United States for first time.
Well, when we were little, we used to come occasionally and then didn't know much, but I do remember how my mom would always take us to the ranch, take us to the factory, the liquor stores, and then my mother was pregnant. She was probably like 27 years old and very pretty. And we moved to Houston. And looking back, I was 9 turning 10. My sister was 7 and she was pregnant. So we came here and she ordered some containers of El Tigre Aguardiente. And I could tell you more later, but her dream was to come to the United States and sell her family products.
And when you refer she, you refers to me?
Yes.
Okay. So let's talk about me and you. How we start in the liquor business, Eduardo? I say we because even though you were leader, you were part of my history and all those games that I missed from your school and all the sacrifice that we went through.
Well, we started technically learning how to walk, after school. We'd go to the liquor stores and you'd let us play with the card, with the box, with the rope, and we'd pull each other around the floor and then with the forklifts and then I'd get to work at the factory and put bottles in cases and you'd be working upstairs and I'd be working downstairs and I'd get some coins on Saturdays whenever everybody got paid. And then I got my little coins for working. So it started like that, where my friends maybe were playing somewhere else, but I was playing at the factory. So coming to Houston was more of a shock because, the warehouse was tiny. It was one little container in there of one product that took a year to sell the first year. And it was more watching all the efforts, all the hard work, all the resilience that it takes to try to start something with everything not working the way you want it to work. So you have to be different and you have to adjust, which you're not used to because where you're from, things are working. And when you come to America, things are different. So you have to adjust. So watching my mother never giving up, having resilience, pushing. And she did some great things. She landed the biggest importer family-owned company, Shaw Ross, her first convention. So that was gigantic. But I saw it from farther away because I was 10 years old.
Yeah, so we went through a lot of sacrifices as a family. And I remember one time when you were a little older, that I start to, I need to start a different business to be able to pay for the cost of the getting into the liquor industry. I need to have a different job to put money into the liquor industry because it was not profitable, was not sustainable. So I started selling jewelry, and I used to go back and forth to Mexico, and I used to bring back and forth jewelry and sell it. So did you remember what you told me one time?
I probably told you many times.
What did you tell me?
I would tell you that why put good money into something that doesn't make money?
Mm-hmm. And what I used to tell you?
Well, you felt that that because of how you saw it in your family and because of just your vision, you felt that because things will make sense although they didn't make economical sense at the time, they made visionary sense.
Yeah, I remember telling you, one day you will see that jury will go away and you will live off that. Are you living now off that?
We all live off of the beverage business and more.
And it's been interesting for you now that you entered later into the company and you are sole owner now to the company Mescor Inc. Tell us a little about your beginnings on Mescor Inc. and how you become so powerful and prosperous and successful.
Well, I feel that watching my grandparents, watching my mother, the the facts are that I was fortunate that I was taught by different stepfathers a lot of things, and they treated me like their own. And I was taught to approach the world in different ways, not just in business, but in personal, family, values. And my mother would always say, learn the good, throw away the bad. And I tried to learn, I tried to listen, and I still spend most of my life learning. And then I'm able to apply those things to problem solving. So I think my job, my responsibility is thanks to all the things my mother kind of laid up to put me through things rather than me not seeing them positive. I saw them as the universe, the souls, the energy that my soul needed to align to. And then my purpose and my mission became like a stronger energy. And then I was here to serve in a noble way. So I'm not answering it perfect, but thanks to the things my mother went through, I learned. And she put me in many positions, like helping her with the jewelry, helping her sell liquor. When I would be worried or scared or traumatized to sell liquor, she'd say, this is how you do it. When I didn't want to go explore something, try something new, she would push me and she'd tell me that I would do great things in life. So she gave me confidence. And then I don't know what happened, but it seemed like we made a pretty good team and we would come up with approaches and they worked.
Yes. I would like for you to refer to me instead of my mother. As you can say you. I'm here. Let's be less formal. I know this is a little bit, we are not used to do this podcast, but I think it's going very well and telling the audience how we came, when we came, how we did, and how many years took. It's nothing very easy. In the liquor industry, talk about it. It's been a lot of sacrifice and efforts. I'm sure another business are similar, but we're talking today about us. And I would like to ask you, Eduardo, a little more about the business, Mescor, and some of the brands that we start with. That is coming a long way, and it's still, they're a little successful, but they are not there yet. How hard is to get a product into the market from develop to the years of being, because these brands have been in the market for years, especially Agavales. But could you tell us a little more so we all find out?
Industry friends once told me that brands have they're either like an angel and they fly on their own or they don't. And you can put a lot of money into a brand and it doesn't go anywhere. Or you can put a little bit into the brand and it kind of flies like an angel. It has wings. So to answer, I feel that Agavales was an angel because it was different. We were the first gold 100% agave in the market, so we innovated. When you innovate and create the first ever 100% agave gold tequila. And then we also invented a 110 proof. because it came out of the pot still at 110 proof and made it gold. And what was unique is I pre-sold it to Papacitos with Harris Papas, and I had him taste 40% mixto, 110 proof mixto, and then 110 proof gold, 100% 110 proof silver, and then 40% 100% agaves. So he made about 15 batches with all his chefs and sommeliers, and what I learned is it was different in the gold, it was different in the 100% agave, and because it was different, it grew really fast, and there was none of a kind. But then comes the challenges. You get a nice run for 2 years, and you only cover a certain amount of territory. So once the data starts to coming in for the competitors of what's selling, then they all come and create something similar to you, which is when Salsa Blue came in, and then every major importer came up with some 100% agave at a value price in that period of time because agave was less expensive. And of course, they all eventually take a lot of those products away of the market with time. So my long answer was that if my short answer is a brand can have wings if it's developed correctly, if it's innovating, and you're only going to be able to penetrate the market into the areas you cover. So it could be one sales rep, it could be 300 salespeople. You're only going to start like that, and then it just, God knows the rest, because it's like an angel. There's no right, there's no wrong, and there are challenges every day.
Do you remember when we come up with the Chicks tequila? That was the first flavored tequila. We're talking about 25 years ago. And you always say, well, the problem, Mom, is always you are very way ahead of the game. So now we know that those brands are the most popular at this time in the last 4 or 5 years, correct?
Yes, you have a sense of being ahead, and you've done really good with your visioning, and with that, if you think back from day one, you as a visionary, as what you can see, you see like it's reality, and then you problem solve to get there, whether it's for you or whether it's for others.
Yeah, that's very important. That is not only about me. It's about us and them, our customers as well. They all have a dreams. I had a dream, you have a dream, and they have a dream. And if we can, I call we will talk, later about Casa Maestri. I call, there is a distillery that make dreams comes true, because it's where the magic happens. It's when we help other people to accomplish what they dream of. But going back to these products, which that was when Mescor Inc. was alive. Could you tell us about a little bit what is the name, what it means, El Padrino?
Well, El Padrino de mi Tierra kind of was your idea on the name and the concept after your grandfather from Michoacan, which has memorable moments to you. And with a little time, it started to become a lifestyle type product that always over delivers in any kind of version that it comes out in. So it's probably, in my opinion, the best drinking tequila, always for the value, is how I would describe El Padrino.
El Padrino. And these El Padrino are now in around 50 countries. How do you feel about it?
Well, I'm glad to know that it's in 50 countries. I mainly just handle the United States, but I do think it has an angel. It has wings. It sells, and it sells just by being present in the stores, and it repeats because the quality is in the product. And it may have to do with your grandfather's soul. I don't know, but it feels great to know that there's a success story.
Yes, and we thank Total Wine as well that believe in us and believe in the product and is good for them too. And we appreciate all the help that they're giving us through the years.
Yeah, they put a lot of sweat, a lot of training, a lot of they treat it like is their own, and they have owned a lot of the innovation with us. They collaborate with us in a big way to make sure that the consumers are always top of mind. And it's great to watch the top retailer in America collaborate to make sure the consumers always get the best.
So let's change the subject a little bit. How, when you and I, we were working in Mescor and we had the need to have like 5 different distilleries producing different brands, not just this ones, different brands for us. And they have a lot of challenges, to supply. And we were looking always for the best quality and the best presentation, quality control, on and on. When you think it was, you think it then is when the need came to have our own distillery, which my present husband, Michael Maestri, helped me to start with. What is exactly you think we came, through the years? You believe that this, like you call angels, came always to us and help us to succeed? Or you believe that is only our effort?
I'm not clear.
What I'm saying is, when Michael came to our lives
Okay.
and helped us to fix the problems that we had with the 5 distilleries that we were working with, and say, here, I will help you to start our own distillery, and so you don't have problems with supply. You think it was an angel to come to us, or you think it was the effort and that we did ourselves?
I think there are multiple answers. For me, helping or being there since I was 6 years old till I was 20, whether it was jewelry, whether it was liquor, whether it was at home, right? I had one responsibility. I had different stepfathers that did different things, and you brought a lot to them, and they brought different things to the family. But with Michael, it was very like-minded, because he would think a lot like you, like me, in the way that he was brought up. So there were so much similarities between you and him, and I felt like he was my friend, and he helped me. And people that even worked for him helped me because of you. Taught me how to do accounting, how to do purchasing. They gave Mexcor credit. We were selling from $100,000 for a year to $1.7 million, and then we tapped out of being able to pay the federal excise tax up front. So then that's when Michael gave us credit at Mexcor as a supplier. So those were all, good support. I can speak for me. Michael would tell me things like, you should sell a container a day of tequila. And we didn't sell a container a year of tequila. So it was goals that were so not reachable that in my mind, but I didn't think, at that point it's like, holy crap, the goal's now 350 times bigger. And comments that were very, very larger than my mind could absorb. So I can speak that I feel that certainly he listened to you. He supported your dreams, your vision. And I watched it like most couples, you have ups and downs. And I watched you guys kind of grow together from 2000 to 99 till 2007, 2008. At the same time as you guys were growing together as a couple. I was working at Mexcor, being your partner, growing Mexcor. And I opened 5 states as a distributor. And Mexcor grew a lot, grew to 50 million from zero. We were like 200 grand when we started, and it went to 50 million or so in 2007. And then I kind of really got to see, like you're saying, we had this big demand for tequila. You and I would try to get it from other people, and they wouldn't deliver on time, and they would change their mind about prices, and they weren't honorable. Many of them, some were. And then here comes, I think, where you guys truly grew together, and y'all started something that you called your legacy together. And yes, he definitely supported your vision and his vision. You guys grew together. It took me about 8 years to kind of see it. There was a lot of, seeing Casa Maestri as Casa Maestri and Mexcor as Mexcor. And
Which now Mezcor, now you sell almost a container a day, correct?
we do more than a container a day.
So let's talk about Mezcor. So tell us, what is today Mezcor?
Today, Mexcor is not a conventional. Mexcor is a tripod. Mexcor is, and I'm very, very troubled what Mexcor is, because Mexcor always is there to serve for our suppliers and to accomplish their goals in the market. So that is why Mexcor was born. That is why we live and breathe our mission. And I call it that we are there to help many people import their brands. And all those people, like many in Colombia, Guatemala, Mexico, Salvador, or many countries, they all come, whether it's wine and you have to cut the grapes, whether it's rum and you have to go work the fields, and agave, yeah, and so on. All these communities, many people eat tortillas and beans. And I say, how do we help these communities become better educated, higher, being able to have hygiene, and just help those communities. So Mexcor is a company that helps real family businesses that impact their communities in a positive way, bring their products to America so that we can sell them to any state possible and wholesalers, and help their product be sold so that those communities are impacted in a good way. That is how I want to describe Mexcor. Our purpose is to build lifestyle brands, and our values are that we are all-in, future-thinking people.
Eduardo, I want to thank you for being here. I'm sure we'll be part 2, because we have a lot to talk and update to the people that is watching us. So cheers for today. Welcome to Behind the Bottle. Salud.
That's it for today's episode. Thanks for listening to Behind the Bottle, Tequila Tales by Celia Maestri. The next story's already aging to perfection, so don't miss it. See you soon. Don't forget to follow us on social media and your favorite podcast listening platform.